Oh, no, then you're right. You're a self-hating Latin woman.
No, I'm a self-preserving Latin woman.
Oh, come on, you're Latin. You know it only takes a drop. Come on, can you dance without music?
Yeah, but...
Do your friends tell you to stop screaming when you're actually just talking?
Yeah, but...
Right. See, can you get to your house blindfolded because the smell of sazon and manteca is so strong?
Yeah, but...
See, you're either really fly for a white chick or my favorite genre of female.
Emmy winner John Leguizamo has practically done it all. He starred in dozens of films, from Carlito's Way to Moulin Rouge, voiced Sid the Sloth in Ice Age, and staged his own one-man show. He now joins me to talk about his latest film. John, great to have you here.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
A lot to pack in there with all the things that you've done. The latest,
long resume.
Yeah, long resume. The newest film that you have coming out is called Fugly. Fun name.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Fugly stands for
phenomenally ugly, funny and ugly, but we know what it basically stands for.
And how does that fit into the theme of the movie?
Well, I had a traumatic experience happen to me when I was at that very tender age of 12, and I walked into the junior high school class, and these girls go, look, Leguizamo is so fugly, and everybody started cracking up and laughing, and that became my nickname for a few painful months. And I swore that I would get revenge back on them, and so, yeah, the movie's kind of like this guy goes through this journey. He's dissed by these girls, and he becomes an actor. He has, problem with Hollywood, and finally gets success. But then, all the trappings of success, superficiality, narcissism, and then he has a second coming of age, and he finds his true love.
It's kind of described as an anti-romantic comedy. Why is that?
That's because men and women see romance a little differently. We see it as, quality is not as important as quantity.
Right.
And in the movie, he goes through a lot of quantity to find some quality.
So how much, aside from the Fugly name, can you relate to in the film?
A lot. There's a lot of experiences that I run parallel to my life, starting the business and having to do a lot of, ne'er-do-wells, for a better term, drug dealers and ex-cons or whatever. And then so I wrote my own stuff as an antidote to that situation.
Like I'm a complete failure. No. Loser?
I'm supposed to be trying to help.
So you're co-screenplay writer on this thing. How do you do that? How does that come about when you're co-writing this?
Well, co-writing is a lot of fun because you could bounce back stuff with each other. You could act scenes out. And Kathy DeMarco is a screenwriting teacher at UPenn, so she's quality.
And you co-star with Rosie Perez. It's a great cast in this.
Oh,
Griffin
she's
Dunn.
so funny.
Talk a little bit about the
Mitchell
cast.
and Griffin Dunn, who was a great New Yorker. These are people I knew.
Okay.
From just in my travels, and I really enjoyed them, and I found them really interesting people, and so I wanted them in my movie. Yul Vasquez, Olga Meredith, and so I asked them to come and join my party, and we had a great time.
That's cool. I mean, it's glad that you're at this point in your career, just pick up the phone. You're like, all right, come on, join my film.
It's got to happen at some point in life, doesn't it? I mean, where you don't have to hustle as hard, and it's more like, let's just get together and do something artful and funny at the same time.
Are you stalking me?
In the film, there's a one-night stand that your character had in college, and then it kind of he doesn't forget about it. Can you talk a little bit about that? And that's kind of a real feeling, I think, that many people can kind of relate to.
Yeah, well, it's a little based on my life. I met my present wife a long time ago, and it was love at first sight. And our lives just took us apart, just things didn't, our lives couldn't merge somehow. And, I married somebody else, and, she was about her business. And then years later, we were both free, and we connected, and now we're still together. We're married 11 years and got kids together, and really happy.
2 kids.
2 kids.
They're teenagers now.
Oh yeah, I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the weeds, as they say.
How is that, and do they have any interest in being, following in your footsteps?
Yeah, my daughter's studying at Strasberg Institute with some of my teachers that I study with. They're, Jeffrey Horn, some of the greats. And my son is a soccer head, so he's the jock of the family.
When you're not doing this kind of film, we are so used to hearing your voice. Ice Age, another Ice Age coming out.
Yes, set number 5, The Quest.
The Quest. I love it. I mean, how much of that stuff is ad-libbed when you go into the studio to record some of that?
You play around. They definitely have a tight script, but you're alone. You're alone. There's nobody else there, no agents, no managers, no other actors, and you just riff. You just go nuts and record like 5 or 6 hours a day. Wow. And they take the best of it, then they draw to the cues in your voice.
So looking at your IMDb page, oh my gosh, you are going to be a busy man for the next year, right? Amy Poehler film, maybe?
Oh yeah, that was so much fun.
What
man,
is that
best.
about? That
oh,
was
that's
cool.
incredible. Oh my God, there's so much fun to work with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. They play sisters. One was the good sister, one was the naughty sister, and they're trying to switch places later in life because they're fed up with the roles that life's been, doled out to them.
Yeah. So you've been, okay, so you got your start maybe early 80s. 1984, you were in a Borderline video for Madonna.
Yeah.
My gosh, I mean, when you look back on your career, like, what do you remember the most?
I remember definitely the Pacino, working Pacino and Carlito's Way was a highlight for me. Mm-hmm. Here I was working with my idol in a movie, and I'm in a scene, and I'm going toe-to-toe with him, and I'm improvising, and I don't know, that was a highlight of my life. And I also found myself in that movie.
Yeah, but you got your start in stand-up, really. I mean, that's...
Performance art.
Performance art, okay.
Yeah, I didn't really do stand-up clubs. It wasn't really for me. So I left the stand-up world, and I went to performance art places which allowed me to be a storyteller, because I'm a storyteller more.
Yeah.
And that's where, where Eric Bogosian was from, and Steve Buscemi and all the greats. And I went there and I found myself, man. Then I did Mambo Mouth, and then Arthur Miller was in my theater, and Sam Shepard, and I was like, what? What the? You just slap me, somebody, see if I'm still awake.
Yeah. Well, you are still awake, and you've done producing, screenwriting, the whole thing. Is there something that you haven't tackled that you still want to tackle?
Directing. I want to direct again. I directed once before, and it almost broke me, but I think I'm ready now.
All right. Well, we look forward to that, and I look forward to seeing Fugly in theaters.
Oh, you're going to love it.
Love it.
It's hilarious.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
John Leguizamo, you can catch Fugly in theaters now. For this and all things entertainment, stay with CBSNews.com.